Hello everybody, PlanetWalls here. It has been a long time since I've played Spelunky, and I am joined by my lovely spouse who is suffering from a pre-migraine whatever right now.
Yeah, it's pre-migraine.
Yeah. So we're going to be playing... Oh, I love this bear. This is how I dress in real life.
It's on the verge of migraine. I can feel it. It's like in the front of my head, and it'll start localizing on one side or the other behind my eye.
Nothing cures a migraine better than Spelunky, so it has been a while since I've played this. A long while.
A migraine better than AJ's voice resounding and booming into the bad microphone that we have.
Boom.
Oh, by the way, we have a new microphone coming.
Yes, we do.
So it's
I
not
actually
gonna...
asked my father for Christmas.
Will this equalize our voices?
Equalize our voices?
Yeah, because I think
no.
sometimes I talk more...
You don't have a voice, really. It's very quiet. It's like the will-o-wisp whispering in the distance. Wasn't that poetic?
No. You're right. I don't have a voice.
I didn't mean that metaphorically. I meant it literally.
I'm a woman. I shouldn't have a voice. Is that what you meant?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay. Anyway. Shouldn't it equalize?
Shouldn't it equalize?
The microphone that you got.
You don't want a microphone to, like, ignore all audio differences.
No, I understand that. But...
It should be a higher quality mic that sounds better in general. It should have... I'm going to have a pop filter. So it's not going to sound like garbage. And so I'm killing the shopkeeper, by the way. There were too many good items in here not to. Anyway, so there's that. So that's good news. What else is going on in my life? Nothing. Nothing at all. So, yes. Oh my god, I haven't done this in a while. I'm sounding like an idiot. You're looking at me like, AJ, say something interesting. We're talking about my resounding voice, right?
Yeah. Just for, like, a moment.
When I worked at Steak and Shake, all the elderly people whose tables I waited on said I had a great voice.
That's because they could hear you. Because they had, like, hearing aids, and they're like, wow, this person we can actually hear.
We can hear him. I don't think that's why, but true. I like that explanation.
We got so many comments about turning, like, having to turn the microphone or having to turn the volume up or down.
Has anybody said that?
Right. Yeah, when I talk versus when you talk.
Well, you look at me and I look at the computer. I think what you should do is look at the microphone.
What happened
is you shouldn't be looking at what's happening.
I had to sit closer to the microphone and AJ farther away in order to make it even palatable for us to listen to the YouTubes, and we're screaming.
Like, oh, Jesus.
God,
wow,
AJ,
I'm a loud
Jesus,
man.
God.
We have decided, some people had commented, they were like, yeah, Spelunky's kind of boring now when you guys aren't talking about anything interesting. I kind of agree. So we're going to try our best to talk about something interesting.
Or just,
you know, what we normally talk about.
XCOM.
Well, XCOM's still pretty intense a lot of the time. I thought I was safe for a while and that none of my soldiers were ever going to die again, but that's been proven wrong repeatedly. So most of you long-term commenters...
You got spoilers! Don't give spoilers.
I'm not going to give specific spoilers. It's just like a lot of you guys are going to die in a situation that you would not expect to. So that's exciting. Is it command incompetence? I couldn't even tell. I wasn't sure.
XCOM-y.
What does that mean?
I don't know, you just always seem... I don't understand when people play it. They're always like, oh, I died. I had a 90% kill shot, and it totally missed. I'm like, this is a dumb game.
No, that's why it's awesome. It's like real life.
No, it's not like...
You have percentages.
It's not like real life.
You can predict the future. It's like The Machine in Person of Interest, which, by the way, we're at the beginning of Season 3 now.
Okay, so Person of Interest.
So there might be some spoilers, but who cares, right? I mean, this is a network television
and everybody
show.
else is at Season 3 anyway, or should be.
Yeah.
So talking about Season 1 and 2 is not really...
I agree. I don't think that counts as spoilers.
Okay, so I think this is actually a really good show.
I would say I think it's a good show and it's a fun show.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
I think it can get repetitive at times.
When it's a procedural, it's worse than when it's not.
Yeah.
But the procedural at least has, like, value. They've done a good job. Like, Fringe did this originally, even though Fringe was by and large like a lame show. Yeah, Fringe.
Well, let's just put the caveat out. And I think this is really important because I have to keep reminding myself of it. That, like, when somebody's doing something with time, you have to be generous with regard to
Doing something with time.
Yeah, when there's some sort of time warping involved.
Is there time warping?
Yeah, with person of interest and
it's not
Fringe.
like a time travel. Oh, you mean Fringe? Fringe has...
Fringe, yeah, both Fringe and person of interest.
I mean, these are essentially like science fiction shows. Oh,
No, it's not just because they're science fiction. It's because they're manipulating and bending and trying to, like, outwit something that is inevitably going to happen.
Why did I forget the shotgun? This is bad news.
Should I stop talking?
No.
Okay. You'll just have to, yeah, you just have to be more generous. Because no one ever gets plot elements right.
What do you mean?
You can't tie a plot nicely into itself when you're
tie a plot into itself? What's happening, Becky? I don't understand.
When I mean it doesn't wrap around cleanly because it's not a linear narrative. And you have all these problems conceptually that emerge when you start talking about the nature of time and what it is and whether or not things are like predestined to happen or not, or whether you can intervene and whether there's free will or whether or not there's some sort of larger manipulative hand, and all those great conceptual questions are like amazing.
Everybody's like, wait a minute, what's person of interest?
Yeah,
that's what everybody's asking right now.
But is it really? I love those questions, but like I always think to myself like I have to be really charitable when it comes to watching television shows because often like if we can't figure out those issues just in general. And I know that there are thousands of years of discourse trying to do that. Why should I judge a television show that's being, just pumped out for it? So, with regard to this issue, person of interest is actually...
What's the show about? We should talk about what the show's about.
It's actually relatively good on this question.
It's about Ben from Lost.
Where Fringe wasn't.
And a guy who talks like Batman because he's pissed at the world. That's the new Batman, Christopher Nolan Batman. And you'll note that the show is produced by Chris Nolan's like brother or something.
And J.J. Abrams.
Is it Chris Nolan or is it? Yeah, I think it's Chris Nolan. And J.J. Abrams is the head producer, so all the actors from Lost that were decent are on there. And the ones that are bad aren't.
Are they?
Fucking fortunately.
They all are?
Not all of them, but that guy Leon is on there. I don't know. Whatever. There are a bunch of them. Yes. I've noticed.
Okay.
But anyway, so the premise is that
it reminds me a lot of Scandal, but I guess this was on prior to or during.
No, they're both on presently at the same time.
Okay. It reminds me a lot
Scandal
where
is by Grey's Anatomy. They're both procedurals where they fix people's lives without any sort of financial motivation.
It was, well, I had first encountered it while watching Scandal. I was like, what kind of problem solver? What? There are people who do this stuff?
I don't...
And apparently there are.
Maybe.
No, there are. That was based on a real woman.
Oh yeah, like where they're like scandal solvers, so they're like...
It was more like, I can't remember what she called herself. It doesn't matter.
A gladiator in a suit?
It was
fucking Scandal, man.
Scandal is bad. We started watching Person of Interest, and it's so much better. And I think it's just Michael Emerson is a better actor.
Yeah, Michael Emerson's Ben from Lost. That guy's good.
He's ridiculously good, and his character's so sympathetic.
Yeah.
And complex.
And the other one's pretty sympathetic too, even though his acting is questionable. He just like runs around, says one-liners, beats people up like Brock Sampson from the Venture Brothers, and talks like Batman. But it's funny, eventually.
They nailed it. It's Jim, I can never...
Caviezel. He plays Jesus in the Jesus movie.
Yeah, the movie that's, Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he's
like super... This ruined it for me, actually, when I learned this.
Becky's in love with him.
Well, he's so...
Oh, God! Oh! 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 We're still alive! Oh, man killed. That was fucking intense. Oh my god. Right now that Richie guy who always criticizes me for killing the shopkeepers, he's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. Okay,
so, let's get out of here. It's a good thing we have the Kapala.
I never watched the Jesus movie, so I have no idea.
The Passion? We watched some clips.
Oh, The Passion?
You were like, he seems like he's a better actor when he's talking in Aramaic. In English, he's like...
It's true.
There's this one line where he like walks up and there's a guy who's like been shot or fake shot or something. I mean, and he just goes... He goes to this convenience store clerk. He goes, You wouldn't happen to have a bottle of booze in there that I could have, would you? And like the entire thing. Oh my god! I almost died from that fish because I wasn't paying attention. Oh!
Stop not paying attention.
Oh! Oh, back at 1. Okay, hang on. I need to go whip that.
I need to defend myself. Okay, so the issue...
You need to defend yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
From what?
Well, yeah, I it's...
Because you're attracted to Gim Caviezel or whatever his name is?
Jim?
Jesus?
Did you say
to
Gim?
Isn't that how you say it?
Until I recognized that, like, he was, like, kind of a certain... How do I say it?
Are you gonna say persuasion? I don't even know what that means.
No, of a certain, how do I put it? I learned more details about his real life.
And you stopped having
and
respect
I
for
had
him?
this, like, cognitive dissonance, and I was like, okay.
That's okay.
Whatever.
That's funny, though.
The character is good enough. It's fine.
Yeah, so anyway, he's just basically Brock Sampson. He just walks around murdering anybody he needs to, but he tries to just kneecap them instead. So he just kneecaps people with guns.
Because he doesn't want to kill anybody.
Right, he's a nice man. So
well, he's recognized it. So at the beginning of the show, it seems ham-fisted to some extent. Like, all of his lines, it seems like he can't act or whatever. And now, going, like, at the end of Season 1, Season 2, they made it into kind of a
joke.
Kind of a joke,
I think that's what they would call it, a joke.
They developed the characters really well, I thought. Like,
yeah, I bought it.
It's almost like his own character doesn't take himself too seriously.
That is the sense that you get,
yeah.
yes.
So we never explained the premise of the show, actually.
Okay, so the idea is they, like, solve crimes, in a manner of speaking. So it's a secret agent and a computer whiz, and they have access to something called the Machine, which apparently is like an omniscient piece of software that spies on everybody, like the NSA, or uses the NSA feeds to figure out terrorists that are a threat to the United States, as well as, like,
This is the worst explanation I've
God damn it. It doesn't matter.
This is the worst.
Well, the Machine is what we should be talking about because there are some stupid things that make no sense.
This is the worst explanation I've heard.
You're the worst explanation I've heard.
The premise of the show...
You just look at me like you're a child.
Just pretend that I didn't say anything. The premise of the show is that there is a computer genius who builds a machine, and the machine essentially is able to use and, I don't know, infiltrate all of the cameras and security cameras and
it has access to every camera, cell phone, everything that's networked.
Electronically.
Jesus.
And then therefore can detect acts of terror prior to when they happen.
Oops. Are we still alive? Yes. There's a jetpack.
So it has to be premeditated. It can't be accidental.
Yeah, so...
but it can detect acts of terror, and they built it for the government, okay?
Yes, because they wanted to be nice after September 11th, and I guess they had like a Patriot Act vibe thing going on. They were like, yes, spying on people is what we should be doing.
Well, it was only... They didn't spy on... That's the issue, is that they didn't spy on people. They spied... Because the information that wasn't relevant... was discarded.
Okay, so this is the idea. So basically, no one has access to the machine and the way it makes its decisions, essentially. So in other words, the machine figures out who's going to be a terrorist or who's going to be a victim of terrorism. It tells someone, the government, or whoever has access to it. Oh, that was stupid. But it never lets anybody actually have access to all of the, like, feeds or anything. So it isn't actually like the NSA actually is doing it.
Kind of is, but... Actually, when I first started watching the show, I was like, wait, this is how many years old? And it's just like...
It's like 2 years old, yeah.
And I was like, wow, they really got that Edward Snowden thing. They were, like, right on, weren't they? I bet they had a heyday when they actually...
Yeah, they was whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah, the NSA would have been like, this is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is too close to comfort.
Have this machine.
I wonder if when it came out, if like somebody was watching it, they're like,
It's like, this is a little awkward. Hopefully no one takes this seriously.
Yeah. So anyway, it's supposed to spit out irrelevant acts that aren't terrorist acts.
By spit out, what do you mean?
It means it gives information that is about premeditated acts of, I don't know, crimes right?
Yes.
Before they happen, that are both a national threat, but also just like individual crimes that occur.
And so what they do is they go around spying on people.
Hold on, stop.
Okay.
So originally it was, Michael Emerson's character, who is called Finch, Harold Finch in the show.
Oh.
And he's like an ultimate consequentialist, where he's like, the good of the many outweigh the good of the few. And these people will be killed, but we can't go around...
Quoted Spock.
Yeah, we can't, because he is.
Yeah.
Ultimate consequentialist. And we can't, therefore, go around saving every single person. And his partner goes and tries to actually go around and try to save every person, and then ends up getting himself killed. Oops, that was a spoiler.
You kind of figure that out pretty early on.
Yeah, I mean, you do figure that early on.
Spring shoes.
So he takes it on himself and he becomes a radical deontologist instead, and decides that each human life is worth living.
Because he's so guilty, he knows that there are people that the machine is aware of.
Right.
They could be saved or thrown in jail.
So the computer whiz that originally designed the machine and gave it to the government in order to prevent acts of terror takes the machine, uses the machine himself. I mean, the government's still detecting acts of terror, but he uses the machine itself in order to help people individually who all happen to be in New York.
Sorry, I heard a weird buzzing noise. That's when my character stopped moving, and I thought maybe a phone was ringing. Go on. It wasn't.
Help people individually before they're going to be killed.
Yes. Or before they're going to kill. Because, like, half the fun of each episode is them trying to figure out if the person they're after is a victim of a crime or a perpetrator. They walk around just spying on everybody's phone.
Yeah. They force pair it, which never sounds good to me.
Well, you know what? Instead of risking myself, I should...
Yeah, you should be careful.
This guy, there's spikes right there. Can you land in those, man? Oh, come on, man. Land in the spikes. The right...
You gonna show him where they are? No,
show him where they are? What, like I tell him and he'll do it? Oh, that one was a little close. Whoa! Made him bleed. Ah! I don't want to waste any more bombs!
This is dumb.
What do you mean it's dumb? Okay,
There. Woo!
Oh, I forgot to get the, I've been not ghosting vaults. That's why we've been playing for so long, because I keep forgetting to ghost the vaults.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, the obvious problem with this is that it spits out a number of somebody that they're supposed to go and figure out whether they're the perpetrator of. But in the midst of trying to save them, there are all these other people that die, but their numbers aren't coming out either.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger confusing points of the show.
And you're like, wait, what?
Wait a minute, so we have, like, a number that gets shit out by a computer, and it's going to be a victim or a perpetrator. But over the course of every episode, like, they murder, like, 10 people on accident, or other people get killed.
Or because if it's a perpetrator, they're obviously going after another person, but that the victim...
Yeah, the machine doesn't shit out that other number for some reason. That was a waste.
So the truth is, the machine should be, like... It should be crapping out, like, 10 or 12 numbers for every case.
Yeah, but it never does.
If not more.
I guess it didn't figure out that those other people were going to die.
Right.
I don't know.
The numbers are social security numbers that correspond to people. Sorry if we didn't make it
clear. Okay, so there are a couple things that matter then. Apparently the machine can only shit out social security numbers, so I guess it can only be Americans. That sucked. It started me out, like, in boomerang range.
It's almost always in New York.
They're like almost always in New York. Apparently the machine has like a bias against the big fucking apple. What the fuck am I supposed to do about this?
It's not against, it's kind of for. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's only ever in New York. Which I'm like, well, maybe it had to limit its range, because, there's only so much a person can do.
Or Finch was like, I only pay attention to New York social numbers.
Right.
Or something. I don't know. That doesn't seem to quite make sense.
I think at the beginning of the entire series, he's like, do you know that, like, it was like once every 8 hours somebody dies by homicide, or I was just like, that's not right. That's totally not right.
It also turns out that New York is basically like a mob-run, like, anarchy zone.
But that might actually be true.
It might be. I don't know. I've never been.
I heard from a friend who lived in, like, a not-so-great area of New York, and she said, like, the mob actually did keep crime relatively organized, and that the police and the mob were, to some extent, I don't know how, they're not in league, per se. But there was, like, this mutual respect, because the police, if the mob were in this certain area, the police wouldn't have to be, constantly...
Sure.
there. And so they would actually keep more unorganized crime in check.
Yeah, so basically the show is just like a million corrupt cops and people figuring out what's going on and mobsters and whatever. And
That's new.
This week it's the Albanian mob, and next week it's the Estonian mob, and this week it's corrupt cops from Estonia. Next week it's Albanian cops, and then Russian cops, and then Italian
You're
cops.
still not putting this in a clear context.
Okay.
Because it's not clear what the mobs are doing in relation to
Sometimes it's not clear what the mobs are doing.
in
Sometimes the
relation-
mobs are just assholes.
in relation to the numbers. Anyway,
Sometimes they aren't so bad.
it's just a byproduct of living in New York City, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so right, the machine spits out numbers.
Yes.
But so now you have this added component of, okay, so the machine spits out numbers of people who are in danger. Now we've got this artificial intelligence thing going on.
Yes.
Right?
So and like a science fiction premise for a procedural.
So, we have artificial intelligence, we have manipulation of time. Like, these people, I guess, are destined to die, but we can, like...
The machine is like, they're plotting against. Because, like, the machine reads people's phone, or hears people's phones conversations that are like, we're going to murder this guy tomorrow night. And then it's like, I bet that guy's going to get murdered.
So
it tells them.
Right, so it seems like the machine is just a passive observer of information, and then humans decide what it is that they want to do.
Yes.
Except for the fact that the machine is spitting out numbers, so in some sense, it actually is making a decision of sorts, right? And this is something that kind of comes up in season 3, that like one of the villains wants to set the machine free because it's actually a person. It's like...
Which
somebody,
makes
it's like somebody
50% sense, maybe.
It's like somebody from PETA, but like it's all about like
Yeah,
artificial
why does she care
intelligence.
so much about the machine?
It's all about artificial intelligence.
Aren't there are a lot of other people too? Let's say the machine's a person. Doesn't she care about other people? I mean, you get the sense that she actually is sort of selfish. She's like very excited to be like the chosen one for the machine, and so forth.
It doesn't matter. But the point is like now we've got this component going on, and
She doesn't have a respect for it originally, because she's like, it won't do for you to use that voice. Tell me our descending tone for bad guys on the left and ascending tone for bad guys on the
you're
right.
not giving any context for your discussions at all.
Right. That's okay.
If people who haven't watched the show don't understand what the hell you're talking about.
Okay, well that's fine. Keep going then.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so
I'm trying to Splunk and it's been a while, so it's not second nature anymore.
we've been obsessed with this show recently, which is, like I said, really good given that it's, I think, on just like
CBS.
CBS, right? There's no like bells
I mean, it's
and
no Game of
whistles.
Thrones. We're not talking on any sort of like... I mean, they like don't even say any bad words in the show.
And yet it's still engaging. How is that possible? And the characters, I don't know, they do a good job at making them...
Oh God, oh God!
Ooh.
Where'd my gun go?
Okay, the characters, they do a fairly good job at making them
the
not too flat.
No, I agree.
They could have been, and sometimes they are.
And there's like a plan within plan element going on. Finch is always like 7 steps ahead of everybody else, and he's extra secretive. So you keep learning about your primary characters throughout the entire show.
And
still.
Michael Emerson can totally, like, hold his own when it comes to playing a character that's 7 steps ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's really
He's got
great
like
at
a Kevin Spacey Usual Suspects vibe going on with like a goofy limp and...
Oh yeah, it's totally awesome.
Holy fuck.
But he's like such a good guy, and he's amazing, and I don't know why. It just somehow it works. It works.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but
This is a warm-up run, by the way, because I'm not ghosting anything. I'm just okay with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just recorded this to talk about what it is, what we were doing
Yeah.
recently.
Well, so, again, we brought up, like, the questions. The one is, why does the machine only shit out social security numbers of people in New York, generally? Why doesn't the machine shit out social security numbers for, like, 100 other people who die or will be killed? Why is it always only one person? Or usually one person? That's, like, a big question, right? And for some reason, whoever's casting only casts attractive,
Brunettes.
dark-haired women who all look alike. Like in every episode, there's another dark-haired brunette woman. Some of them are major characters that stay in the show. Some, are gone after one episode.
They're only really brunettes. There are some redheads,
Yeah.
but they're never really the
Like the primary.
yeah.
Yeah. What is this?
Well, I mean, it is New York. And what
Everybody's
I mean by
like a foreign beauty? Is that what you're saying? Like,
no,
like
no. So I was talking to a friend from New York, and she's like, "Yeah, nobody has blonde hair there."
I mean, that could be. It could just be that most people, they're a lot more, like, I don't know, Texans there, I guess.
I mean, go to California.
I'm rusty.
I think if you go to California, they'll probably... Maybe there's, like, fewer brunettes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so I guess that's a question.
Not worth answering.
Yeah, probably not. Oh, Jesus! Forgot about that guy.
God, your screams are making my head just, like,
Sorry.
pound. Oh. Anyway, so what else? And you got a haircut.
Yes! We need to talk about that. So I go to a man named Fran. It's kind of a guilt relationship. He's a nice guy, I guess. I don't know.
Fran cuts hair. And so, originally, when AJ's booked with Fran, we thought it was, like, a woman, because, I don't know, the name. And then...
Turns out it's a guy, but it's not even a gay man. It's just a straight older man who's cutting my hair at a stylist place. It makes me very uncomfortable. It's not a barber. No, I'm not. I don't go to like a barber.
Because AJ has stylish curly hair.
Yeah. So like I got a haircut, and actually my haircuts never look bad with Fran. Though like when I came home, I looked like I don't know Carrie Fisher in The Burbs or whatever that movie is. It doesn't look great right now.
You keep looking at me for validation.
I know I do. I'm looking at you. I'm like, it looks bad, doesn't it? I know it does.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I know it won't be the end of the world. What we really want to do here is pick up a shotgun to get ready to ghost the shit.
Talk about your guilt relationship more.
Well, it's more just like...
something that all women can identify with.
Like, here's the thing about Fran. Like, I'm never really looking forward... He's one of those talkers. He talks a lot. I'm not really a talker.
That's not...
Well, I am a talker, but I don't want to talk to somebody who's cutting my hair. This is making me a little nervous. Let's take care of these fuckers.
That's not true.
What do you mean? I don't like talking to someone who's cutting my hair. Are you acting like I do?
I think you like talking.
I like talking.
That's
true.
Don't think you like talking to certain people.
About hair cutting?
I think you get bored very easily.
Don't you?
I think I can keep my composure a bit better than you.
Okay, maybe that's it. But, so, essentially what I'm trying to say is, Fran cuts my hair, and he's like, "Hey there, how you doing? You like your hair? How do you like your haircut? Should I do that beard? I would love to do that beard." And I'm just like, "No, that's okay." And I sit there, and I just get talked to for a long period of time. And, I don't know. Basically, so it's a straight guy who cuts my hair. It looks okay, but I sort of just want to be done every... No! Puppy! Okay, that was bad. Let's see here. Hang on. Alright, we have a ton of health now. Really, what I just want to happen is I want a shotgun. Oh, that guy's not going to give me a shotgun. Okay, so now we need to get rid of this guy and hopefully take his shotgun, and I'm going to do that by bombing in from the top. So now I'm going to do this. Please have that shotgun there. Yes! Alright, so we'll get to ghost the shit, I guess. Anyway, so, Fran cuts my hair, and, like, I couldn't get my hair washed because... I don't know if you guys ever do this. Like, some of you guys are men, so you probably don't get your hair cut at places like this. But they take you into one of those, like, sink things and wash your hair. It makes me very uncomfortable. One time, Fran was like, "Hey, will you do it to the secretary?" What the hell is this? Oh my god, I thought that thing was just gonna crush me. That would have sucked. So, yeah, like, Fran told the secretary to do it one time. But basically, like, it sucks, man. Having to have somebody who doesn't want to wash your hair. If I were one of these employees, I would be like, the last thing I want to do is run my fingers through someone's hair that I don't know. You know what I mean? So, like, Fran's like, "Oh, the machine's broken because her pipe's all broke." And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Because it was so cold.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, it's cold here, by the way. Fuck that. Look at this guy. He's just perched up there shooting bombs out. What a dick. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that sucked. Oh, this makes me a little nervous. Okay. Woo!
Well, the funny thing is, I think Fran has a reputation.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. And the reason he has a reputation is I know that a lot of the other TFs from our program know of Fran through one means or another. Yeah, this is a tough setup. And they're all like, you know Fran? And I'm the only one who still goes to Fran because of guilt. Even though, like, my hair doesn't get cut badly there. I don't know. This is a tough situation. It's tough getting your hair cut.
Well, they were all girls, so they have higher expectations.
They probably do. You probably want, like, a really good hairdresser.
You do.
Oh my god, this is...
That's why I keep my hair long. And so I don't, like...
Oh! Oh god! Oh! Please don't hit me!
Yeah. That's why I keep my hair long, though. It's because it's cheaper, and there's less ability to screw it up.
Right. That makes sense. Now let's just not let this thing
really
hit me.
Screwed up,
Is this gonna hit? Oh.
then you can always put it up in a ponytail. And never ask for bangs. This is what I've learned.
Bangs? What? Wait, how are you supposed to get bangs if you're never supposed to ask for them?
Well, I don't know, my hair's just really long, so it doesn't really...
You just don't ever have to do that?
Yeah, it all goes back. Like, if I had bangs, though, then, like, you know, they can be too short, sometimes they can...
That's like an additional fuck-up
possibility?
possibility?
Yeah, it's a big-time problem.
Okay, I see.
So, it's just, you gotta remain low maintenance.
Right.
That way, too, you only have to get a haircut, like, every 6 months. Works pretty well.
I like getting my hair cut every 6 months. Well, this last time I waited a little longer than I should have, certainly. This was the most effective alien killing I think I've ever done. I say probably before I... Oops.
My ghost is...
Okay, good. I'm still alive. I'm gonna ghost the corpse, even though I haven't been ghosting anything. So I'm not gonna get a high score. That explains why I've been living so long and performing admirably this time. It's because I haven't been taking so many serious risks.
True.
But, Okay.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, well, so Fran cuts my hair. This isn't really a story so much as just a man in my life. Do you like how I said that? He's a man in my life?
He's a character.
Yeah. But, I'd recommend it if you're in Harvard Square. You let me know. You go hang out with Fran. He cuts hair. He's kind of a barber. He's got a thick Boston accent. He knows a lot about gluten-free he talks a lot about gluten-free establishments in the area. He claims to be able to cut a beard, but I've never had him do that. I'm sure he's fine at it. I don't know. I don't really feel that much either way about him, honestly, except that he's a person. He's a real full-fledged human being in my life. He's someone...
I don't think he's a...
If he were Kevin Bacon, I would be 1 degree from Kevin Bacon.
Okay. I don't think he's a real... I think he's a pretty two-dimensional person in your life.
I don't really know very much about him, I suppose.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So, wow, that was a weird explosion. Yeah, so, I don't know, I'm out of shit to talk about now. I didn't think I was going to live this long, honestly.
Yeah?
No. I didn't even think I basically thought I wasn't even going to get to Fran. I've been dying so much lately at this game.
If you're looking for niche topics, I don't really... I can't really help.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just submitted some sort of scholarship application yesterday, so I'm, like, mentally brain dead right now.
Mentally brain dead?
You're
just brain dead.
I'm just brain dead.
That's a little redundant.
That's because I told you, I'm brain dead.
Okay. It accounts for its own brain deadness, I suppose.
After, like, 14 hours of sitting there, I can't stand applications. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they're pretty stressful.
They're so stressful. How many times... And you have to do it all the time. Like, you're constantly...
It never ends.
It never ends.
Like the cleaning of a house.
You're always
Never
doing,
ends.
like, this is my proposal, or this is my statement, or this is what I'm currently working on. It always changes pretty much.
Yeah. Sketch, statement, autobiography. Fuck this. I'm not ghosting these.
You have to do that, and then you have to get your letters of recommendation, and that's a stressful thing in and of itself because you can't control.
Yeah, getting reference letters is just abysmal.
Oh god,
It's like stressful.
You never want to ask people for them.
Yeah, because you're always worried everybody secretly hates you.
Because I mean, writing them at a certain point, like, it becomes old hat, but at the same time, like, it's, you know, it's just one more thing that somebody has to do, and you wouldn't want to do it, and so why would they? And especially if it's a new person you don't know, like, you know, they have to, like, bang it out for you, and they don't already have it, so you tend to ask the same people over and over again, because they already have one on file for you. And then they can just tweak, like, the, you know, the top of it or whatever.
Right. They say, actually, this is for, this isn't for the CIA. It's actually for
this other company,
you know, a prison architect position.
Proposal.
Or it's for, you know, a warden for a prison.
They read your statement, and then they, like, kind of, like, add some stuff in there every once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're like, oh, yeah, at this point in her career, she's now, I don't know, written a book for Kofi Annan biography.
Yeah, whatever. So it's just a very heinous process, and you wouldn't think that it would take that long to, like, get your letters, get your statement, do the CV, and then fill out whatever additional information you have to fill out, and then, like, hit send and or mail this all together. But but you grossly underestimate how much time it actually takes.
Takes forever.
Terrible. It's terrible.
It's like going to the bank. No, it's not like that at all.
It's not like that at all.
What I mean is it's not like going to the bank.
It's like writing a full-on term paper at the end.
Yeah.
It takes just that much time. It's a good 20 to 40 hours if you really are. I mean, you can streamline the process, but if you haven't done it in a while and your interests have changed and you're doing something different, then it takes a while. And such was the case with me. Oh God, I am tired because this entire week has been doing this.
It's true. It has been.
And yeah. So last night at 10 p.m.
Whoa, that treasure chest had a bomb in it? Why does that happen? Okay.
Yep. So I was like working, I think 14 hours on it yesterday.
Yes, you were. It was a long period of work.
It was a long period of work.
Has this guy not ended up in that? I hoped that this guy would find himself in the lava. Whoa. Can you end up in the lava, please? That fireman is going to hit him. Yep. That's something.
Cool.
There we go. Now we fell in the lava.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have experience with this.
Everybody needs reference letters every once in a while, at least.
Yeah. I'm sure, you know, when you're applying to jobs, like, it's the same old thing. It's just, and you're kind of like, well, it's kind of, I don't know how to put it. You're angling in a certain way, and so certain things, like, you're like, yeah, that could be framed in this way, but you don't really know. You're like, are you stretching it? Are you not stretching it?
Yeah, it's like could I really call myself an expert in that?
And it's always no, kind of, but compared to everybody else.
Really? You think no?
Yeah.
You're like, I definitely couldn't.
Yeah, AJ's like, your languages aren't here. And I was like, I don't have languages. And he's like, yes, you do.
You know Middle English. And you're like, that hardly even counts.
Middle English isn't a freaking language. It's just understanding that there's a lot of Y's in there and that it's pronounced differently and there's different script. He's like, you can read French. And I was like, kinda, with the dictionary.
Yeah, I was like, that counts. Say that you can do that.
But the question was like, are you bilingual? And I was like, no.
No, I knew you weren't. The answer there was no.
No. And he was like, but you can read all these other languages. Like, that's not going to matter for this.
Yeah.
And so you never know how much you can stretch or not stretch. And that's definitely a no. But there are other issues too, like, you know, I don't know, like, if you're teaching, how much can you say that you've done? Like, what do you tell them? Really?
One thing you have to do is actually explain what...
You're like, I inspired classroom discussion and managed it effectively. And you're like, what does that mean?
You're like, I didn't feel like I inspired anything. Really, it just felt like I sat on my ass and had to grade a bunch of shit.
What do I say? I did the weekly assignments and readings.
I guess I did.
I created...
Is that like a given? That I did my reading?
I created essay prompts. Is this going to impress anybody? I don't know really well.
So I created essay prompts. Connor, are you impressed by that?
I wouldn't be.
Hey, Connor!
I made lesson.
Connor!
I made lesson plans.
Come over here, kid.
I made lesson plans, which is just like a 1 through, like, which is just seriously like a 1 through 5, like, list of passages that you can turn to if all else fails, that are elusive and interesting, and somebody can say something about.
You get pretty good at making lesson plans.
That's what lesson plans are.
If that's what lesson plans are.
At that college level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like you're like, first we do an activity where we tell each other that we love them, and
some people do that. Here's
another, okay, a tip for graduate students who are going to be teaching undergrads.
Because basically
unless your undergrads are going to go into elementary education. That's not supposed to be, I mean, I have a lot of respect for elementary school teachers, but they also tend to like things that I think are stupid. So so what am I trying to say? Okay.
That's what happens during board meetings, so I figured out this week.
Yes. All right.
I sat through a board meeting, and it was kind of like an elementary school class. It was actually kind of
Puppy,
shocking. It was
I'm
shocking.
sorry. Wasn't worth saving you. But here's the thing that I learned about undergrads. Ah! Okay, anyway, what was I going to say? I didn't learn this. I actually just had this intuition. Undergrads, you know what they don't want to do? They don't want to do special activities. These are college students. They're done with, like, for today's special activity...
They're done.
Yeah, we're going to have a mock trial. You know what that translates to? Oh, fuck. I'm not coming today. if they... You know what I mean? Like, think about this.
It's true.
When you're in high school... When I was in high school, I got sick of this. I remember when teachers in high school were like, today we're doing a fun activity. We're going to color... And I'm like, we're coloring? I'm in fucking high school. I'm done coloring. Like, I had to do this. I no longer want to do this. I want to be done coloring. No more. No more at all.
Oh my god. Oh god. It's funny because, it's funny because I've been forced to color in graduate school as well. And I'm what?
I had to color in graduate school. When I told my parents that one, they were like, what? I was like, yeah, we had this activity at this club thing where we had to color our own...
Make your own bodhisattva.
Well, that was a joke! Okay, hang on. I do not want that Croc Man. Get out of here, Croc Man.
I'm pretty sure that's why you did it.
Croc Man is teleporting!
No, make your own bodhisattva.
Right.
Because you're making fun of the...
Well, that's giving me a little bit more intention than I had. It wasn't that I was, like, particularly attempting to parody it sort of thing.
Yes, you were.
Well, I mean, it was just like this weird project that I was having fun doing. It didn't have any specific, like, biting criticism attached to it.
Well, no, I mean, it wasn't like that, but you were making fun of the fact that it had nothing to do with actual... with your actual course material.
Oh, that's true.
So anyway, no one as a student, I don't think students,
really?
you make students like move a desk, and it's like, it's over. You've lost their attention.
Yeah, when they're like, I'm like, everybody put your desk in a circle, they're like, ah!
Especially the earlier the morning it is, the less like, you're gonna have to...
Yeah.
This is gonna work.
You're like, everybody get your desks in.
Teaching for a class where
What the fuck?
Oh god.
What the hell?
I don't know, that was strange.
What?
That was strange. I've never seen that before.
Well, I've seen that before. What the hell happened here? Oh, fuck you.
Anyway, I remember one, I taught a course that she wanted to have like a formal debate.
Which never works, by the way.
What is I don't even know how a debate really is run, because I was
do you use Robert's Rules of Order?
Yeah, I
something?
know. I had to like look it up, but
Ah! I did not mean to grab onto that.
The end result was it was 8 a.m. It was 8 a.m. and no one participated. So never ever make your students do anything.
Should have been facing the other direction. God damn it.
Sorry.
God damn it.
Sorry.
No, it wasn't your fault. 881 total deaths. When we hit 1,000, I get an achievement.
Good for you.
Alright, what position were we? 42? It's not very good.
No, it's not.
Alright, we will see you guys next time for something.
Alright, bye.